Welcome back. If you know me, my name is Jackie Mancuso. If you don't, welcome. This is my channel. And today I am with Tina McDonald. I met Tina through the Awake, what do we call it? Community, Awake
Yeah.
Oneness Tribe.
Yep.
Uh, that is an organization that's in the Chicagoland area, and it's a hub for all of us metaphysical teachers, healers, and peeps. So I honestly can't remember how we got connected, but I know that I ended up on Tina's email list, and I saw her name all the time. And then,
To be honest, I have no idea. I
yeah,
I know we connected on Facebook because I just wanted to connect with people in the space here
mhm,
in the local Chicago area. Um, and then we met in person at the Journeys Path in West
yes,
Chicago. Shout
yeah.
out to them. They're fabulous
Woo-hoo.
uh, shop in West Chicago. And I think, yeah, and then we really met and got to talk at the networking event there at the Journeys Path, thanks to
Which
Awake
was
Oneness.
facilitated, yeah, by Awake Oneness.
By Awake Oneness. So yeah.
All synchronistic, all just things are unfolding how they're meant to. And now we're here today so I can get to learn a little bit more about Tina and why she's here. So, if you want to start, Tina, tell us right now who you are, what you offer, what are you doing today?
Sounds good. So I have my practice is called the Agape House. Agape is one in the ancient Greek times they identified five different types of love. So everyone kind of knows eros, romantic love. So agape is brotherly or humankind, that kind of global collective type of love that we have for each other as human beings. So I called that my practice the Agape House for a couple reasons. One being that I, you know, when I help people and they come see me, that's the feeling that I want them to impart onto them, that they're loved, that spirit loves them, that they are loved and honored in the collective. So that's why I call my practice the Agape House. And my dream and my goal is to have an actual house building, kind of like where I'm operating right now, um, to where people can come, a safe and welcoming place where people can come, receive Reiki, get a get a reading, attend classes and events. So my fiance is also a private practice attorney, entrepreneur. So kind of the goal and the dream is to live and work in the same structure with the kids and animals and such. So what I do right now, I say I'm a holistic healer. My intention is to help people be the best version of themselves, and I do that through pretty much intuitive work. That's what it boils down to. I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I'm also an intuitive reader. So I say there's two facets to my practice, Reiki and divination, all with the intention of helping people heal, providing guidance, helping people empower themselves through healing and through messages from spirit when I read. So right now, my home base is in St. Charles, but I Spirit has blessed me with four more locations that I'm available at because I wanted to be available to people 7 days a week. Have one in Wheaton. Wheaton is like 2 minutes from my house, and then I have locations in Aurora, Joliet, and Northfield. So
You're all over Illinois, all over the place.
that I knew I was gonna kind of travel. And really my mission, Jackie, is to bring Reiki healing and divination and what we do out to the masses, because this is for everyone. This is not just for us in the bubble, us in Awake, us in this, community.
Yeah.
This is for everyone. Anyone can be a Reiki practitioner. I'm of the belief that we're all intuitive,
Mhm.
and it's just like going to the gym. You exercise your muscles, you get stronger muscles, you do what we do, and it exercises your intuition and your third eye. So, we, I like to go to places outside of that metaphysical sphere, because I just feel that call that, you know, especially now in these times, a lot of people are feeling lost or feeling sad, or things are changing right now, and I want to be that reminder that spirit loves you, and no matter what you're going through, that you are protected, you are held, you are loved, and the universe is rooting for you. So yeah, just through education, just through, you know kind of just living day to day life, just what we do, it's for everyone. We're not high in the sky, up in the sky, anything like that. um
Your your approach reminds me of my Reiki teacher. At the time, I took my Reiki classes in the early 2020s, and at that time, I was going through a spiritual awakening, and I was like, "Yes, I'm ready for this energy work." And I thought it was going to be this big, magnificent. Not that it wasn't, but my teacher was very practical. She's like, "You can do whatever woo woo shit you want to add to this, but like, this is the energy work, what's happening," and she was very down to earth, and that made it seem super accessible. And then I got to add my woo woo flair. It didn't have to be intimidating for the average Joe, right? um,
exactly.
and I also love that Reiki, I feel like it already is kind of stretching into the mainstream. I recently took my sister into a rehab facility. She's recovering from being an alcoholic, which, bless her soul, I'm super happy for her. But just at this regular old rehab center, she's like, "Jackie, they have Reiki here. What the hell is Reiki?" So I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, try it out, see what's going on." So that's awesome. What brought you into being this Reiki practitioner? How are you in this world now?
So there's a couple different ways. In terms of my Reiki journey, I short around the time I got divorced, around the time of the pandemic, when a lot of people were going through divorces and things, and change. I went to a place in Naperville. She's amazing, Radiant Life. Nikki Jakubiak, shout out to her. I met basically everyone I know is either directly from her or indirectly from her. She's amazing, and I had a Reiki session with her, and I was very blown away. And again, during that transition period in my life, I wanted to know more. And I always wanted to heal and help heal people. I was pre med. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor, and went to college to study biology. My dismal science grades kind of gave me a reality check. And so, I, kind of going back to Nikki, I wanted to learn something new. And at the time, I was knee deep in my banking career, which I know
Mhm.
we'll chat about that in a little bit. And so I learned, I was Reiki One Attuned by Nikki. And then, but I knew shortly, this was shortly after my divorce. Um, I didn't know what I wanted to do post divorce. So I moved back home to Arizona, where I'm originally from, Phoenix, Arizona native here. And within maybe, yeah, very shortly, maybe a year. Well, no, let me back up a little bit. A light worker came to my townhouse in Scottsdale and gave me a reading. And she said, in a past life you were a healer and you're going to learn Reiki, but not just to learn Reiki, but to remember how to heal in this
Mhm.
manner. So, and she gave me a place to go. And so that's how I found Reiki. So I did Reiki 1 and 2 in Arizona, Reiki Academy in Scottsdale. Rod Lyman, shout out. I know I'm like shouting out all of these people, but it's like it takes a village, right?
Absolutely.
To
Yeah.
raise, and I'm always grateful for the people who have kind of been there on my path. And so a job opportunity came in the banking industry that required me to move back here. So I moved twice cross country within 3-year period. It was insane.
Yeah.
So when I moved back here, through my friend Leah Richards, I met at the time a wonderful Reiki master named Katie Carlson, who attuned me to being a Reiki master. And I did an intensive like year over year training with Katie on different Reiki modalities, different forms of divination as well. In terms of divination, I knew what astrology and tarot were before I was 10. Uh, my father,
Okay.
my father's side of the family, specifically paternal grandmother's side of the family, were very gifted. Um, so even though we were raised Catholic, or I was raised Catholic, I always considered my dad more spiritual, and it didn't conflict with his Catholic beliefs, and I truly, yeah, I'm of the same ilk. So I knew what tarot was, I knew what astrology was for a long, long time. So um, it just for me it was like kind of a natural fit. Once I started doing Reiki, I learned tarot and such, and I'm like, okay, now the pieces are coming together. So
Sure. I know that there's a lot of people in the spiritual community who were not raised with any of that. It was all foreign until one day it kind of smacked them in the face. Do you think that being raised in that type of environment kind of flavored how you do this spiritual work now?
absolutely, absolutely, because I didn't think it was weird or woo woo. I mean, I know my dad was a very unique person and I was never in the mold. I never fit in the box. So, um I just I don't know. I always kind of thought it was normal. I mean, my dad, his gift, he oh gosh, he can do things from like prophetic dreams to if somebody he knew passed, there's a specific smell that he could pick up on, or he knew like, oh, there's something that I found on that's my sister. So he was very in tune.
Mhm.
Family members who had prophetic dreams who could I have a cousin who can accurately predict when someone's about to cross over. One of her daughter, when she was a little girl, her best friend was a little girl who was on the other side. So, many different types of gifts that we had. As a matter of fact, I didn't, because those gifts were so extreme, I didn't think I had any of that. I thought I was like one of the muggles. We'll
Yeah.
use the Harry Potter terms here. So I thought I was one of the muggles, and I didn't think I had any special gifts until I kind of went down this journey and rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I guess I do.
Was that your first time receiving Reiki in 2020?
Yes,
Interesting.
I had heard of Reiki before. I
Mhm.
I had heard about Reiki actually back in college and in the late '90s, and I didn't really know anything about it. And so when I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the kind of person that, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, yeah. So help me understand the timeline. I'm assuming you were that banking VP when you were going through your divorce, and then
Yes.
Reiki found you, and the rest is history. Can you tell us a little bit about that transition?
Basically, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was in banking for 23 years. I started in the call center and I kind of worked my way up. Was in business banking for many, many years and was a VP. And I've always been looking for meaning and purpose in my life. And, y- you know, I enjoyed the recognition. I knew I was very good at what I did. It just, to me, I didn't really feel like I had like what I was doing had this greater purpose throughout the collective. So, um, like my father, before even awakening and before I've always been in tune with listening to the universe, looking for signs, kind of putting my ear, okay, what do I need to know?
Mhm.
Which I didn't know that they were called quote unquote downloads. See, I'm learning terms here. I was
It's just been second nature. Now you got the dictionary.
right, exactly. So, as I mentioned before, I had this job offer that required me to pack everything up in 3 weeks and come back. It was actually I thought on paper it was a dream job. Unfortunately, in the corporate world, especially, during the pandemic, post pandemic, when you're not face to face with a manager or your colleagues, you become less of a person. And the job situation turned out to be very abusive and very toxic. My manager was in Dallas, and it just it was a living walking nightmare, very stressful. So I quit my job and I was job hunting, and I found another job actually at a bank that I started my traditional banking career at. I was so excited. I was told this was in a sector that I wasn't familiar with. I was told I was going to get training, and everything was, presented awesome. I was going to go back working downtown, and it turned into another. My manager was in Florida, and the bill of goods again that he sold me was what wasn't actually executed or delivered. So it was another very toxic and abusive work situation. I'm too old for this shit. I've been in banking for so long. Like, I'm not a 20-year-old that you can like push around. Um, but I recognize something deeper. I'm the kind of person like, if this happens once, that's a thing. If it happens twice, to me, it was a message. And I heard that loud and clear, and it was like, no, no, sis, you gotta go. And that's exactly what I heard. Um, if you keep doing this, you're gonna get, second verse same as the first kind of thing. So I took a leap of faith in the middle of July, and I left the banking industry altogether.
What year
So
was that?
this past July.
Oh,
Yeah, so I had my
wow.
practice. Yeah, so the Agape House, to be honest with you, has been around since late 2023, I want to say.
Okay.
Like fallish, it's kind of what. And at first I was like, this will be a nice side hustle kind of a situation.
Mhm.
And Spar's like, no, hon, this isn't a side gig for you, mama. This is
This is your work now.
this is your work.
Yeah.
And I've never, being in corporate work for over 25 years, um, it was really
Mm.
scary. I mean, it's still scary. Um, I will give credit where credit is due. My fiance, like I said, he has been the most supportive because he himself is an entrepreneur
Mhm.
and has said, no, you've got to keep doing this. So last year, 2024, was my first full calendar year of operations, and I'm starting to, kind of feel that slow growth and momentum, which, is very exciting, very grateful, and having faith, the universe provides. I still have a roof over my head. I have food on the table. So, that's kind of the guiding light that I have to go by, because people are like, oh, why don't you look for a job in the meantime? Why don't you get something temporary? Because like I said, both of us, I mean, neither one of us right now are this, living lavishly. um but I always am of the mindset that um what you give your energy to takes away energy from something else. So I want to do this full time so I can give 100% of my energy to watching this grow and flourish.
I feel that. And I'm not sure if you knew my backstory at all, but I was a teacher. I worked in the public
Mm.
education system. I was a PE teacher, loved it. And then it was just that similar, like, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like having a boss. I don't like having to follow your procedures. And it got to that same point where I was like, I'm done being told what to do. I'm done having my time managed by somebody else. And it was that same leap of faith. At the time, I was giving Reiki sessions. That's what my business started at. It was Reiki. Then it turned into astrology. Then I added tarot. Then I added the Akashic records. And now I don't do any of that shit. So it's always changing and flowing. But I had that same desire to just put my all into this. I don't know what I'm doing, and that's kind of the best part. I'm just letting it flow day by day. I'm going to where I feel called, and things are just working out. That was one of the biggest beliefs that I had to get in myself when I made that leap of faith. Everything always works out. I had to completely brainwash myself to believe that really cool thing, and it's I'm watching it unfold in front of me. And every day is a little bit different. Some days are more abundant than others, but I've always had a meal. I've always had a bed to sleep on, and I get to do the work that actually brings me joy. And I do it on my terms. Are you experiencing some of that same stuff now that you're
Abs- Absolutely. I mean, that is the same boat. I mean, for me, I didn't mind working for the man, but
Oh,
I
I believe
there's
it.
a difference between working for the man and being abused. And
Sure.
no one deserves to be treated that way. So, it was kind of like, and for me, I am still learning the lesson of have faith. You're gonna be taken care of. I'm learning that, there are peaks and valleys, but at the end of the day, my needs are met. And, I believe, you always, you got to believe in yourself, right? So I do believe in myself, but very fortunate to have someone who really champions me and supports you in your corner. I always say if you have at least one person in your corner, then I think you can really move mountains. And again, that's just my fiance, who is supporting me wholeheartedly, and and really kind of teaching me those lessons that you have talked about, going with the flow.
Mhm.
That also is a lesson that I am learning every day, is going with the flow, respecting and honoring, the ebbs and flows, because I can be very to the grind, very, oh my goodness, like once I'm in this office, we I'll be in this office for hours,
Yeah.
and then of course learning the work life, taking time for self-care and things like that. So it's been a big adjustment, but I have, a beautiful support circle of friends who really support me and encourage me, and it keeps me going on. So
Have you ever heard of or read the book Who Not How?
no.
So, a business coach that I follow. She recommended it like 2 years ago, and I it sounded cool, but I put it off, putting it off. I just started reading this book called Who Not How, and I'm only like 2 chapters in. But the concept of the book is, if you have this goal and you ask yourself, how am I going to do it? You're limiting yourself. But if you ask, who can I enlist to help me grow this vision? It's exponential growth. Like, you have no idea what other people can bring to your table. So that came up when you were talking about the support system, having the support of your fiance, having the support of your community. And I think that, just to send this message to anyone listening, like, support is so important. And it's one of those things that I didn't realize how important it was until I started actually feeling it. That was something that I noticed when I left my marriage this last summer. It was supportive in a very finite amount of ways, but it was lacking support in so many other ways. And by letting go of that one little bit of support that I had, I've been able to call in. I have friends that are offering me things that I never thought I was worthy of receiving. There's just so much available to you when you allow yourself to receive the support. So I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, I agree. Oh my goodness, I just can't believe how many people, when you are, well, first of all, you have to open yourself to receive that support. And you'll be very surprised who's really in your corner, who is, cherishing your name when you're not in the room,
Mm,
and what I love is, it started with an event that I love to do, sound bath healing and meditation with Reiki. So I have no desire to be a sound healer. I'll be honest, I'm too lazy to carry bowls. So
that's fair.
I don't want to go and pursue that avenue of healing. I mean, I'm open to like you, like evolving your career and your practice, but I know for damn sure that symbol healing is not one of them because I'm just too lazy to. I like to travel light, and
Sure.
if you see me like uh going to my Reiki sessions or going to an event. I like to travel light, so I partner with people who love sound bath healing. That's their
Mhm,
passion, and so
mhm,
I leverage that, and we do, we start a collaboration that makes sense, and then from that I'm like, wait a second, there's a lot of different, like, I mean, I do want to learn, I do want to deeper dive into astrology one day, but there are people out there who are like yourself,
mhm,
who are expert astrologers or cacao practitioners or akashic readers,
mhm,
being a cacao facilitator, an akashic reader. Those are, again, gifts that, others have taken up a passion to. And those are the people that I want to collaborate with because it makes sense with, and I find through collaboration and through community that it just, when you're open to it, that community just keeps growing and growing and growing, and people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I know who you are, or so and so has told me about you, or
mhm,
so yeah, it's collaboration is a really, and building that community, because we're here, Jackie, to help each other, to lift each other up, to support each other. So
mhm,
I going to your event, you coming to my event, um any I also do a lot of larger expos and events, and people who have vended, I'm typically like, hey, here's an event, so because we're here to support each other, because that's the beautiful thing is we're all different, you know.
mhm. I've
Yeah,
heard.
yeah, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but if if we don't resonate with each other, I know 20 other Reiki practitioners that I can, give your information to, and that's really how I think it should be, you know.
Mhm. I've heard the quote a handful of times that at the bottom, that's where there's competition, but at the top, that's where collaboration is. Just because we are both Reiki healers doesn't mean that you're a threat to my business. I think that's
Right.
such a restrictive way of looking at this type of work, or just life in general. Whatever you can do, you're doing it for your people, and whatever I can do, I'm doing it for my people, and hopefully that overlaps. You know,
Exactly. And we all do, I tell people you will never find two Reiki practitioners that are alike, because even though we might have had the same fundamental Usui training background, the way you and I practice Reiki is very different. And
Mhm.
that resonates with some people and others. And like I said, is, my goal is to really just help each other, build each other up, because there's such a need for us and what we do. There's a lot of value, and kind of going back to the banking days, I never felt like I had a greater purpose. I
Mhm.
tell people all the time, for the first time in my life, I feel like I have purpose, and I feel like I'm making a difference.
How does that feel? How does that feel to actually feel fucking valuable for once?
Fucking amazing. I mean, really fucking amazing. If it's like to finally, at my, like, it took me this many years. All right, full disclosure here, I'm 47. So it took me to be in my mid to late 40s, that to really feel like you found your purpose in life. And it's never too late. Don't think that you hit your peak at 30, or I don't know.
And don't think that you hit your peak at 47. Who knows what other type of awakening you might have in 5, 10 years? And
Exactly.
again,
and
and
and and
again.
agreed. Agreed. And being open to it, because I know that it's actually kind of scary and exciting, not knowing where the road leads, but
Yes.
having faith. Yeah. I was in a class the other day, and it was a class on numerology, which was hella amazing. Like,
Nice.
it was fascinating. I didn't really know much about it, about the science or the art of numerology. And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I heard loudly and clearly two words, and I was compelled to write it down. Those two words, Jackie: have faith.
Love it. You have to. It's the only way that it's not the only way. It's the most fun way, I think, to live this life because there's so much that there's no way we can have control over what's happening. And our ego mind tells us that we can control it, right? If you get this right
Right.
job and if you have this exact marriage, but you know what? I'm just going to let go and flow with it and have faith. You never know what's around the corner.
Agreed. It's fun, it's scary, but oh my goodness, it's so essential, because when you set ego aside, and you set expectations aside, and just even letting go of, must climb the corporate ladder, must,
Mhm.
you know, get to a certain level in my career, or you're going to live in a box. I mean, no, you're not going to live in a box. You're going to trust that the universe has your back, and that you have the right support system and loving community that will cherish you, um, here in the 3D, and they're in the 5, 7, and higher degrees. That
Mhm.
there's just, like I said, it takes a village. It really does, for all of us.
Absolutely. What is in your future for the Agape House? I know you said you're focusing on collaborations right now, which we still need to have some more discussions about.
Yes, yes.
What else is in the future for you in general, in life and business? What's ahead?
So, A lot is happening this year, so kind of taking things one by one. I'm getting married in September, and we
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's a
Eh,
fast turnaround. Didn't you guys just get engaged?
Yes, we got
You
engaged Christmas morning,
you know.
and I and it was so funny because at first we were talking about the significance of the seven planets in alignment. That was him, not me. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, are we getting married the day that the seven planets are in alignment? And he's like, that's too fast. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not getting married on January 25th then. Uh,
Oh, 1 month, whatever.
exactly. I asked him because I have a cousin who she's been engaged for a lot of years. I just didn't want this drawn out long engagement either. So he wanted to get married around my birthday, and so there's a lot of shit happening on it's partial solar eclipse,
Ooh.
but I don't know, but it feels right, it seems right, so we're doing it on the 21st of September. We are also right now, we've been renting this house in Wheaton for 2 years. I think it's time for us to move on and find a forever home.
That's
So how are we
exciting.
gonna do all of this? Again, it's faith, it's the universe will take care of us, truly, truly, truly. Um, in terms of this practice, I right now my website is still in the works. It's been in the works for a long time. So right now, social media is the lifeline of my practice, along with the email list that I curate every time I'm at an event or what have you. So um, I offer classes. I offer events that just through constant presence, people will know I'm there, whether, again, still building up this practice, been
Mhm.
fortunate to have a growing number of regular clients, and I always say two things, Jackie. One, all good things take time to develop. We want instant gratification, Lord grant me patience now. Um, but it's just a reminder that all good things take time to develop, and you want to do it right, because you don't want to be a comet either. You don't want to be a fast, rising flame and fizzle out. So and being so there's two things. One, being open to opportunities.
Mhm.
Two, being grateful. I am so grateful. I can count on more than one hand all the people who have given me opportunities.
Mhm.
It's phenomenal. To put that trust in me. Holy shit. That's I
I
wow.
feel that sometimes too. Yeah. Little old me? You want to help me? Okay.
That and just I'm just grateful. I literally am, and I tell people that's the key. Like, whatever, even if you have there's always something to be grateful for. And when you allow people to help you, when you allow people to nurture you and cherish you, it just the
It flows.
it flows. Yes, yes,
That's
it
that's
keeps
something
coming.
something very important that I try to incorporate into my teachings as often as I can is that we're the ones getting in our own way. It's not that these successful people have something that we don't. They just have a positive mindset. They have a way to see through all the ins and outs as blessings. It's just you're getting in your own way. It's your mindset. It's your way of looking at the world. Like we talked about before, support is all around. are you open to receive it? Like, that's your role. You got to get out of your own way. So I love that.
That's so funny. That is such a synchronicity that you just basically said, because my fiance said that the other day. He's like, Tina, you just got to get out of your own way. Get
Hmm.
out of your own way. And I'm still like, you know, this is for everyone out there watching. We don't have it together.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm
Fake it till you
like,
make it.
which is because a lot of people are looking for gurus and teachers, and I'm gonna give you all a secret. Don't do that. I mean, this is me, because we're all human. We all, looking up those people let you down. We don't have it together. I don't have it together, and I'm still. It's, you know, I'm still on this journey as well. I am not this ascended kind of person. I am still, we're all. If I was to bet, I'd say I'm not alone.
Hi,
Oh man,
Maggie.
you get out of your own way. Well, Danny did say that. He did say, he's like, Tina, you just need to get out of your way. And he did say that after, Maggie is another amazing channeler and astrologer, and she came
Who
to the house, gave us a session,
you guys will
and
meet next week. I have an interview with Maggie next Wednesday.
yay! And after she left, that's basically what, he's like, Tina, you just got to get out of your way, get out of your own way. And
Hmm.
but like I said, as we in this, as healers, as light workers, as whatever, yeah, we're still on this journey as well. We None of us have really, you know, made it to, nirvana or wherever you want to call it. Yeah, we're still learning the lessons. We're still,
And
um
gladly still
yeah.
learning. I'm so
Mhm.
proud of how far I've come. I'm so proud of all
Same.
my accomplishments, and I'm so excited for what else is coming.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, to see how far I've come and evolved
Hmm.
is something to be proud of. But it's that excitement, like, I can't wait to see what's coming on the road ahead. So,
So this whole time I've had your chart open next to me, your astrology chart and your human design chart, and I'm trying to think about like how could I rope this into the conversation. So I'm just gonna go for it. I want
do
to tell you
it, girl,
something
do
that
it.
I don't know if you know about yourself. So have you ever looked at your human design chart?
No, I have no idea what that is. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I don't know. Like I said,
Sure.
I have this monthly group that I meet, the intuitive support group, and
Yeah.
people are tossing around terms like downloads, astral traveling. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then someone goes, no, here's what it is. Astral traveling is, out of body. I'm like, okay, so the people are putting it in words that I out of body experience,
Yeah.
messages from spirit. Okay, I got that now. I didn't put two and two together. So human design chart, no, I don't know what that is.
It's good. You're learning and evolving every day. So the human design, it takes your astrology chart plus a whole bunch of other modalities. It was channeled by someone, I think, in like the 80s. So it's another way of looking at your personality, looking at how you as a human are designed in this world. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So everyone in the human design has a profile number. You are a 2-4. So when it comes to the numbers, the one thing that I want to point out about this two, the two is the hermit. So being a 2-4, the two is the number of your personality. This is kind of what you know about yourself, what feels most comfortable about yourself. So there is this hermit energy. However, you're a manifesting generator. So there's 5 types in the human design, and the one that you fall into is the manifesting generator. What I view about manifesting generators, you guys have all the ideas and all the action and energy and motivation to make that actually happen. So I would imagine that when you spend time by yourself in hibernation, you get real amped up and you really want to connect and you really want to go do those things. But maybe, I don't want to say this out loud.
Say
Maybe when
it
you
out
do,
loud.
when you do get out in the world, sometimes it can feel like your balloon deflates. It could be that little bit of like, ooh, I got this. I'm really in myself. This feels really, really good. And then once you get out there, you're like, but wait, where did it all go? That second part, that's coming from your astrology chart. So I know Maggie's watching and she's probably going to judge because she reads whole sign. I don't read whole sign, but in your astrology chart, all of your planets are underneath the horizon, except for Chiron, which don't worry about Chiron. All of your planets live under the horizon. This gives you a nighttime chart, and all the houses that fall under the horizon, these are very personal houses. So there is a lot of introspection in your personality. There is a lot of that two-line hermit. So when I'm looking at you and your charts, I get the feel of this person who, like, you're so comfortable with yourself in your little shell of yourself, and I can feel that you're like, it's time. I want to get out there. I want to spread my message. I want to collaborate. So I encourage you to continue to do those sorts of things and push yourself out of your comfort zone every once in a while because it's only going to benefit you.
I agree, and I appreciate that. Yes, it's funny you mentioned the hermit because, again, going back to Maggie and her session, she was told to tell me to meditate on the hermit card, and being a Virgo sun sign,
Yes.
a hermit and
Yeah.
it's the quintessential Virgo card,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I by nature I'm an introvert, but I understand the necessity of going out into the world and being with people. I'm a Leo moon, so that kind of helps a lot.
Yeah.
And Gemini rising, so there's two mercurial signs in the big three. But yeah, exactly. See, we can have this conversation for hours. Before we came on, she's like, "You can be fine talking for an hour, 45 minutes," and I'm like, "Oh, you don't know." So I do get a lot of inspiration when I'm by myself. That's why being in this office time, it's really where this is my chocolate factory. My Wonka factory is just a sparse office, me and myself, and innovation comes, and I do a lot of introspection, almost to a fault because I am an overthinker, I am an overprocessor, and a lot of times I have high hopes, and then, like you say, I go out in the world or I put myself out there, and it's like, oh, well, what the fuck? Like,
I
and I
thought this
know
was
maybe I'm
gonna.
not looking at it from the right angle,
Mhm.
but it's still a valid, like, this is, like I said, wondering where are the people,
Yeah.
where, thinking that something is going to be this great thing. But, again, I've been told, my fiance keep tells me to keep going and to keep persisting because people will come. And so I
Have
still put myself out there.
I love that you mentioned the hermit card also, because here's another synchronicity for you, Tina. Um, for December, January, and February, I just pulled cards. What energy does my business hold each of these 3 months? Today's the last day of January, and my business is the hermit this month. So I think that's so interesting that we snuck this session in on the 31st of January. I'm working with the hermit. You're working with the hermit, and your fiance is 100% right, and that it can be so difficult to keep your momentum when you just want to see the result, right? We've all heard of the importance of detachment, detach from the outcome, but we're still fucking humans, right? We still have these visions that we want for ourselves, and it can be so difficult to say, like, I really want this and this is where I'm reaching, but whatever happens happens. Like, that's so hard. But what I found is when you have that vision and you don't necessarily like bust your ass to get to the vision, You just hold the vision and you do what feels good in your body. You do what brings you the most joy every day. Maybe today I don't feel like sending an email. That's okay. I'm going to put it aside for tomorrow when the inspiration strikes. That's what I'm going to do it. That's what I found has brought me to most of the things that I desire. It's less when I focus my actions on what am I specifically doing, and it's more when I just see, all right, this is the big picture that I want. I told you, universe, I want it. Now I trust that you're going to guide me towards it. It's all about trust that I've experienced.
And agreed. I mean, again, that's the lesson that I'm learning on this journey is not only faith, well, I mean, it's still in that same vein, but excuse me, is trust and having trust. Because I'm like I said, I'm a go workaholic who I feel like if I'm not, sending out the posts or whatever, that it's not happening. So yes, I need to. I know for me, just cherishing the flow, cherishing the if I it's okay if I'm not actively posting. It's okay if I'm not reaching out to people. People
Hmm.
know where to find me. Um so yeah, like I said, we're still human. We're still, trying to get out of our way and get out of our hangups and things like that. So
And
yeah.
you're already doing beautiful work. The call to the entrepreneur lifestyle, I feel like, is such a rite of passage. You're already taking responsibility for your own freedoms in life. So how is that not proof that you are here to walk your highest path? You've already taken that. You had a divorce, like you've already left these really big things that were not for you. So why wouldn't you continue down that path of growth and expansion?
Great. I mean, I never, honestly, never thought that, because for years I just didn't really want to be an entrepreneur because of that scare factor.
Mhm.
And it's just it's really learning to just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, one step in front of the other. You don't need to see the top of the mountain. You don't need to see the top of the staircase, and every day that step looks different. If you decide to not do anything that day, that's fine. It for me, it was I love freedom. I love the freedom of being my own boss. I didn't know how much I loved it. I just, like I said, I just knew that I didn't want to be in a position of being abused or mistreated anymore. And like I said, um I didn't feel like I wanted to. I have so much experience, and I know, how what good of like, no, you can't treat me like that anymore. So, I just, if spirit says to do something, and have the knowledge that spirit always wants what's best for you. And I just want to say something to everyone out there. I know that it's not the easiest message to hear right now, especially a lot of people are feeling very deflated and very depressed and very down.
Mhm.
And you might think I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but I really am not. Spirit really does want the best for you and loves you unconditionally. People are going to call bullshit on that, but trust and believe. The road I took was not easy, and I choose to believe that, and I surround myself with people who ascribe to that theory. And like I said, I just know for a fact that that's really the true intention, is that spirit does love us and want what's best for us, even though it might not look that way, you might not feel that way. Um but it's a neutral, it's an objective thing. So if spirit says you've got to do this and know with the intention that they want nothing but the best for you, you can't, they're not, they're not gonna let me fail. So
Such an important message. And I love that that's the culmination of everything that we've talked about today. You're on the right path, you're loved, you're going where you want to go. Everything is love. Everything
it
is love.
really is. It really is. I mean, that's. I mean, when it boils down to it, it really is. It's love. It's love for yourself. That's another podcast in of itself. Okay. So love of yourself, love for each other, and especially when it's not the easiest. Um, but that's really just it's what it's about. And again, that's why I intentionally called my practice the Agape House. Is it really was a focus on loving energy, which is what my LLC is, loving energy, and that call to bring and that intention to permeate loving energy, not just in the community that I'm starting to build, but the entire collective of loving energy that needs to go throughout the world. And I still believe in the goodness of humankind, the collective, you know. So
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I
thank
appreciate you
you.
meeting with me, for sharing your message. If anyone wants to get in contact with Tina or follow her loving energy, the links for her Facebook and Instagram are in the show notes. Is there anything that you want to leave the audience with before we sign off today, Tina?
No, just be the most authentic you can be, because there's only one of you. You are not here on accident, so just continue bringing the gifts and the love that you have inside, and yeah, it will get better. And so again, have faith, have love, and I really appreciate you all. So
Thank you, Tina. I'll talk to you soon.
thank you, Jackie.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.